Today, I am going to be chatting with Neelie about quarter 4 PPC advertising. A lot of people go back and forth on, should I keep doing what I usually do? Should I change up my strategy? How is quarter 4 different? We're getting a lot of questions about that. So I figured let's bring on one of our PPC experts to roll through it and help you guys out. So before we dive into it, Neelie, definitely want you to dive in. Tell us a little bit about you and your time here at TurnKey.
Cool. So, hi, I'm Neelie. I'm an advertising manager here at TurnKey. I have over 7 years of experience in digital marketing. So, I've managed it all: Google Ads, Facebook, and my very favorite is Amazon. So, excited to talk about that. Managed a wide range of different types of products on Amazon, from apparel to publishing, books, supplements, automotive. So, lots of experience in different spaces.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. And that experience is going to really help you guys out as you prep for quarter 4 advertising. So obviously quarter 4 has already been kicked off to a pretty crazy start because we kicked off with Prime Day, which has never happened before. So the main thing I want to focus on now is the next 2 main events we have coming up for quarter 4, which is Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So to kind of get us into the discussion, Neely, why don't you tell our audience the #1 piece of advice for those heading into their first Q4 for PPC?
Yeah, so my very #1 tip is to stay visible. Make sure that your ads are showing for your very best products, your very best keywords and targets. Make sure you're showing all day, that you don't run out of budget, and that you're, hitting a lot of different types of ads so you can take up as much real estate as possible.
Definitely. Yeah, that's great advice. Staying in budget the whole day is super important. I would definitely say, Neely, we talked to a few people that, halfway through Prime Day, they were already out of budget. It is super important. Keep an eye on that. Keep watching that. While you're eating leftovers from Thanksgiving on Black Friday, right? Feel free to, hop on the computer, make sure that everything is looking good, not just from the PPC side, but, just the adverse side, the whole Amazon side in general, right? Because, Amazon can be a little crazy sometimes. So, from your experience, Neely, I know you have tons of experience on Amazon and also just externally as well. So how do you suggest people change it up for quarter 4? What makes this time of year different than the rest of the year?
Yeah, so quarter 4 is exciting because search behavior is really different in quarter 4. Most of the year you're searching on Amazon, you're usually buying something for yourself, you know exactly what you want, and you just go through a few options. But in quarter 4, people are buying gifts, people want to be thoughtful, but they might not know what they want to get people. So they really search differently using different types of keywords. Gift keywords are big. I wouldn't just put gift in, but for those, you really need to know your audience. So definitely for something that is, athletic related, or maybe even more specific, like gifts for runners. If you're doing, a supplement or something cool like a water bottle, something that is very specific to your audience, but definitely those gift keywords are big. And another thing I did want to bring up on that one. So people like to browse more also in Q4. So I think that it's important to have a store. If you don't have one, I would get it set up now, because if they like your product and they like something like it, they might want to browse for other things that are related, or other things that are in kind of your same branding or aesthetic. So definitely that's another tip just for those browsers.
Awesome. Very cool. So what tactics do you suggest that, brands try out? Video ads? What are some really cool tactics that they can try out to really stay visible, to really be out there for customers?
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought up video ads, because I think that's something that we see a lot when we take on new accounts, is they're running very heavy on sponsored products, and really just they think my keywords are there, my ads are running, I'm good. But there's so much more that you can do. And when you do a search, you see that because you see that there's an ad on the top, that's a sponsored brand ad, a product collection, or you can do a store spotlight, and you can run the same keywords simultaneously in those different campaign types. So I would definitely, your very best keywords, and especially your brand keywords, run those in a sponsored product campaign, run those in a sponsored brand campaign, and then even set up some sponsored display campaigns too, just so that you're everywhere on the page. Video campaigns are newer and they're doing really well too. So if you have a video, definitely get that going. And even, you only pay when someone clicks on that video. So you're getting some free branding when people are watching if they don't click.
Awesome. Very cool. That was helpful. So, that's more of the fun side of it, right? Putting together the fun sponsored brand ads, brainstorming video assets, different things like that. It is more of the fun topic. But one thing I always like to talk about is bids during quarter 4, right? Because bids a lot of the times will increase because you're seeing more of an influx of people participating in PPC. You're seeing people be more territorial or over certain terms, which obviously bumps it up, right? The bids. So in your experience, like what does that mean for bidding during quarter 4? How is it different? What would you suggest for people so that they're spending their money wisely?
Yeah, so it's a little different this year since Prime Day was so close to the others, since we had it in October instead of the summer. So I think that what we saw on Prime Day was a lot of people looking, a lot of people shopping, and then we're kind of in a little bit of a slower period where people have some fatigue. They bought a lot of stuff on Prime Day, hopefully, and then things are going to definitely ramp back up on Black Friday. So a good rule of thumb is usually about 25% higher bids on especially Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and there's even some strong traffic, the whole Cyber Week, they call it. So definitely have your bids up for them.
Awesome. And you actually hit on one really big thing that I, thought about there was, Prime Day obviously was different this year, right? And we kind of, touched on that a little bit. Because Prime Day happened at the start of October and Black Friday, Cyber Monday aren't till the end of November, is there stuff that brands can look at and learn from Black Friday, or sorry, from Prime Day, and apply it to Black Friday, Cyber Monday? What would you suggest people look at from their ads that went on Prime Day?
Yeah, I think you want to pay attention to what was really performed best. We know that like click through rates go really far down in these big days because a lot of people are searching and clicking, just because of the number of searches are so big, you'll get less clicks for those searches. So I would not pay too much attention to your click through rate, but more pay attention to your A costs and your orders and sales, and just really those winners, those good performing keywords and campaigns. Make sure that you're running those things, and then even go through your search term report, especially on Prime Day or even last 30 days. And then you can get some more long tail keywords from, your core keywords, see things that converted, and then implement more keywords that are, have proven performance and are likely to convert.
Awesome. Yeah, that's super helpful. So, I mean, as far as my questions, that's all I had. Neely, was there anything that I forgot to cover, for this topic? Because it is a pretty big topic, but is there anything else we're missing?
Yeah, so one thing that's really interesting is harnessing DSP during the holidays. So we know people like to start shopping on Black Friday, but people are shopping until, Christmas at least, up until, if you're like me, up until Christmas Eve. But DSP is powerful because you can have custom audiences within DSP, and that's the demand side platform on Amazon. So I like to think of it as kind of like display network for Amazon. And what you can do is control your look back window there and retarget people, that have actually viewed your listing and they haven't purchased, retargeting them in that window. So, a lot of people might look at your listing on Black Friday and not be ready to pull the trigger. They need to get with their family and figure out who's getting what for who. And but you can retarget those people if you have DSP and do it in a really strategic way with those look back windows. Sponsored display does this to some degree, but not to the same extent. Another thing, DSP, and there's places that are, available here in Seller Central too, but you have a lot of control over your creatives. So you can do custom headlines that are really geared towards the holidays, geared towards giving, saving during the holidays. Everyone wants a deal on Black Friday, so definitely make sure that you're getting that through in your creative. And with DSP, um, an agency like ours, we can manage a budget that's, a smaller amount of DSP. And that's one of the great things going with someone like us. If you let Amazon manage it, you have to invest 35K minimum. So, we don't recommend that unless you want to, but that's another thing just to think of is, if you're thinking about maybe joining somewhere where you can get DSP going, this is a great time so you can really collect all of those views and then retarget those users and get even more sales.
Wow, such a good point. I can't even believe I forgot to even cover that. So thank you so much, Neelie, for bringing that up. And, before we sign off today, guys, Neelie brought up a really great point. If you guys are looking to take PPC to the next level, and include DSP in your strategy, definitely reach out to our team by going to turnkeyproductmanagement.com/talk. It looks like we do have a quick question from not from the Facebook. Goodness gracious, from Facebook. They asked, how much minimum is it to manage myself? So I'm assuming you're referring to DSP. So as far as I'm aware, DSP, you have to be an agency in order to manage it on the DSP platform. Are you by chance referring to display ads through Seller Central? So it looks like they said my brand has been registered for them to use DSP. I don't know. Let me see here. Yeah, if you could give us a little bit more information. Are you managing it? So you're saying you're managing it through Seller Central? He said, yeah, but I think there's a delay. So hold on one second. Commenting is probably faster. Huh. Well, okay, so maybe Neelie, it would be helpful. Okay, so can you explain the difference between DSP and then managing display ads through Seller Central? Maybe that'll be helpful.
Yes. So display ads through Seller Central are, it's something, it's similar to DSP, but you have a lot less control and your ads can only show on Amazon. You can't control your look back windows. You can do some degree of targeting. It is a newer ad type. So definitely if you're not doing DSP or even if you are, I suggest having a sponsored display campaign running. But DSP is a separate platform that Amazon offers to either they can manage it or you have to go through an accepted agency to be able to do it yourself and actually put less than 35K into it. When Amazon does it, you have very limited reporting and control. But through us, you have more insight. We can control those audiences more than you can in Seller Central. And the creative, there's a lot more different types of creative and different things you can do with creative. There's also opportunity to put videos in DSP too. And eventually, if it works really well on retargeting people on Amazon, there's other exchanges open to you. So, you might be on Instagram and see Amazon's following you around with something that you viewed, trying to get you to come back and view it again and purchase. So that is like a DSP ad. You opt into these exchanges off of Amazon. So DSP is kind of a platform on its own. There's a lot that goes into it and a lot of different things you can do to it. So that's it's a little bit different than sponsored display, but they are kind of in the same room.
Awesome. Yeah, Neelie, I think that was super helpful. So yeah, guys, with DSP, the big difference is you have to have an agency go through it for you. It is an incredibly valuable resource for sure. Display ads, like Neely's saying, they do have a little bit less control, which makes them a little bit more challenging. But it's always worth testing different things out, right? Just seeing if it's a fit for you. So I hope that helps answer your question. If not, definitely feel free to keep commenting, and Neely and I can always circle back and help answer questions. But yeah, I mean, other than that, Neely, thank you so much for hopping on today. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it. And, you know, we can't wait to come back to you guys and talk more PPC with you, because, you know, Neely's on our team, so she will be hanging out with me, I'm sure, a lot more. So other than that, guys, thank you guys so much. Have a great Thursday, and I will see you guys soon. Take